excited because, you know, I love being in this event. It's one of my favorite events throughout the year. I'm excited for the amount of heroes we get to recognize, right? And there's a lot of heroes and heroes families here tonight, and we're excited to have you. There are some heroes and heroes families that aren't here, and they don't show up. And there's many reasons why. Some of them around our area, some of them, their heroes have been gone for a long time, and now they're gone, their families are gone. And some of them aren't ready. But the fact that the players are here and representing, we appreciate you. But look at any other country. Look at Europe. You can even look at Western Europe. You can look at Africa. You can look at Asia. You can look at the Middle East. You can look at Russia. You can look at South America. You can look at Central America, right? Compare any of them to us. And for the last 250 years, granted we've had our challenges, right? Granted we have our debates. Granted we have our issues. But you tell me another place that has the freedoms that anybody, no matter your walk of life, no matter your race, gender, creed, right? Black, white, Jew, Gentile, Hispanic, Asian, preference, or anything. You can do what you want if you put your mind to. And the reason because of that is what you're representing as young men here. Okay. The reason because of that is these people that we represent that have actually made that sacrifice. All right, for you to do anything you want to do. There's no excuse for anything you want to do in life, right? Because of where you are, the luckiness that you have of being here. And that's the only luck you can give in life, is being born and being here in America. A lot of people question, you know, there isn't people fighting for me. Nobody's representing me. Nobody's doing this for me. I'm the only one doing this. I am the only one having, that's BS. And I'll tell you right now, that's total BS. Those people just don't know where to look. All right, if you want a place to look, go to Arlington right now. Right, Arlington, row upon row of white markers on fields going as far as the eye can see of people who have represented you. All right? And that's just a small fraction. 45 million people have served in the United States military in the last 250 years. So put that in perspective, 45 million people. All right? A fraction of those have paid the ultimate sacrifice. All right? And all we've ever asked in the 250 years across the world, because we don't go out and we're not buying land, we're not conquering land. It's just a place to bury your dead. And that's all we've ever done. One of those markers in Arlington is a young man named Martin Trumtow. So Martin was a young guy from New York. Actually, he's actually from Pennsylvania. But he went to war with the New York National Guard over 100 years ago. And Martin was killed trying to deliver a message from his battalion to another battalion in the midst of an artillery barrage. A man younger than most of you volunteered, lied about his age, went to war to serve his country. When they found his body, he had on him a diary. And in the diary, on the flyleaf, he had written on there, "My pledge." And again, 100 years ago, this is what he wrote. "America must win. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depends upon me alone." It is a young kid, younger than most of you, over 100 years ago, living here from a small town, had no privileges whatsoever, stood up and made everything about him and what he was going to do. He is but one example of the millions that you represent. He is but one example of the you have no excuse for getting up off your ass and doing things. He is but one example of why you have all the privileges. We all do. White, black, Jew, Gentile, doesn't matter. We all have privilege here. And he is but one example of the sacrifices and of the lives laid for you. We realize here in America that the most important thing is freedom. Again, we argue, we fight, we have challenges, we have made mistakes, and we will continue to make mistakes. And there are things we're doing today that in 100 years they will consider completely wrong. But the one thing America does value is freedom. And the one thing we do value is peace. And we will fight everything to maintain peace. We will negotiate for peace. We will sacrifice many things for peace, but we will not surrender for peace. And that's the people you represent today. You represent heroes that have not surrendered for anything, who gave up the last full measure of devotion for you to be here tonight. But I want to tell you something. I've been to countries, and many of us have been to countries, where they can't have a youth game without having public executions. Where they can't even go to school because of the tribe they come to or belong to. Or they can't even read a book because it was written by somebody who's not of their race, creed, or gender. But you all represent all the people that give us that today. For the last 250 years, that's the privileges we have here in America. And I am excited to be here today. I'm excited to be your MC. I'm excited to help introduce a lot of great Americans and a lot of great people. And I am excited to eat. But I'm also excited to meet every single one of you young men. All right? And I'm excited to meet your parents, and I'm excited to meet your siblings. All right? And I'm excited to come out and watch as many of your games as I possibly can. My wife is going to get annoyed because and this year, is it 14? 14 teams? 14 flipping teams. I remember we were just 2. The most important things we have to do today is do our little pomp and circumstance to make sure we recognize what we're here and what we're doing. So if I can have Mr. Luke Fritz. Luke, come on up. Can't have 2 big guys going around.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? All right. My name is Luke. I'm the president of the Gold Star Riders. Gold Star Riders is an organization that me and some of the best people I've ever known formed earlier this year in conjunction with Legacies Alive to help represent our Gold Star families and ensure that the legacies of our fallen heroes is never forgotten. So each and every one of these names that you guys get to represent, that you have in front of you on these tables, a lot of us know these families personally. And there's nowhere that we have, any of these families that we know that we represent, there's nowhere that they go that we are not involved, that we don't escort them. I'm up here today to recognize our POWs and MIAs. So if you give me a couple minutes, this is kind of a formal ceremony that we do. So I won't be talking like this, I'll kind of be reading off the paper. Those who have served and those who currently are serving in uniformed services, like many of us that you see today represented this event, are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget, while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and internment. Before we begin our activities this afternoon, I will pause to recognize our POWs and MIAs. So you all please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to call your attention to a small table that some of you may have noticed by the registration table on your way in, which occupies a place of dignity and honor that many of us here today hold near and dear to our hearts. The table is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They are referred to as POWs and MIAs. But many of us here call them brothers and sisters, but all of us call them heroes. They are unable to be with their loved ones and families today, so we join together to pay our humble tribute to them and bear witness to the continued absence. The table is set for one that is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her oppressor. Tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single red rose in the vase signifies the blood that many have shed and sacrificed to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. The rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the vase represents the love of our country, which inspired them to answer our nation's call. The slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The black napkin stands for the emptiness these warriors have left in the hearts of their families and friends. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears our families and friends have wept. The glass is inverted. They cannot be here to toast with us this afternoon. And the chair is empty. They're not here. Candle, however, is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home from their captors to open arms of a grateful nation, grateful friends, and grateful family. The Bible represents faith in a higher power, in the pledge to our country for each one of these men have given their life. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifices. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. So if y'all could please join me in the toast to our fallen heroes. To their legacies.
To their legacies.
Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy your afternoon and everything we have set for you. And while you're going through this, just remember what you represent. Good luck to all of you this season, and go Southside.
Next, I'd like to introduce Command Sergeant Major retired Barb Womack. Sergeant Major Womack used to be the Sergeant Major Senior Enlisted Advisor for the 101st Airborne Division, Airborne, and as well as a member of the Old Guard. He's going to walk us through the remaining of our recruit ceremonies.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We learn this Pledge of Allegiance when we're very young in age. We might forget our glasses, we might not know where our keys are, football players can't find their socks, but everyone can remember that. I wonder, and it's rhetorical, maybe you can answer it for yourself. What were you thinking when you said that this time? What word or words or sentence stuck out, if any? But because we know it so well, it just rolls right off our lips. Better all be focusing on what any of those words are. Again, rhetorical, you can answer that yourself. But the first part says that we pledge allegiance to the flag. So if the flag were to speak, the flag would say this: "I'm the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly high atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for truth, honor, peace, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident, I'm arrogant, and I'm proud. When on the phone with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer. I bow to no other. I'm recognized all over the world. I'm worshipped, I'm saluted, I am respected, and I'm revered. I'm loved, and I'm feared. I have fought in every battle or every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Grenada, the Persian Gulf, the mountains of Afghanistan, the streets of Baghdad, and a score of places long forgotten by all but those who were there with me. I was there. I led my servicemen, I followed them, I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, I was battle-worn, and I was tired. The service members, they cheered me, and I was proud. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped set free. Imagine that. But it does not hurt me, for I am invincible. I've been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. Imagine that. And when it's by those with whom I have served with in battle, ladies and gentlemen, that does hurt. but I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bounds of earth, and from my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly at half-staff to honor my service members. And when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother or wife at the graveside of the fallen son, daughter, or husband, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave, dear Lord. Long may I wave.
All right. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Alan Fritz.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we bow our heads, take a moment to look at the person whose picture is in the center of your table. And I would like you all to reflect on who we are here for today. It said that a greater love hath no man than he who give up his life for his friends. And that's exactly what these heroes have done, and that is exactly why we're here today. So if we could please bow our head and pray. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together as competitors, but yet with one goal in mind, to honor those who have come before us and have given their lives so that we may do something as simple as play a Friday night football game, but yet have it mean so much more. Thank you for our friends, thank you for our family, but most of all, thank you for our heroes and the opportunities that you have given us by living here in the United States of America. We ask that you be with us today and bless the food that we're about to receive, bless the hands that have prepared it, and bless the company that we have. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Whatever. Dana started this. She's going to take over from now. And so just give a big round of applause to Dana Taylor.
How's everybody doing today? Good? Good? Yeah? Doing good? All right. Thank you so much for giving up your Sunday to come and be with us today on this great day. I started this game back in 2018 with two teams, New Brighton and Avonworth. And then we went to two more teams the next year, Central Catholic and Bethel Park. Then we had the wonderful COVID, where we were on hold. Avonworth tried very hard to get a game with the Ambridge, but we weren't successful due to the rules and regulations of the PIAA. Last year, we had New Brighton, Rochester, we had Bethel Park and West Allegheny, Avonworth and Southside, and who else am I forgetting? Bergenstown, thank you, and Holsh. And now we are here with 14 teams, and we're going to be honoring 140 fallen heroes this year. I don't want to be up here too long because we have some great things going on for today, but I just want to say a few words. The legacy of heroes, the memories of a great name, and the inherence of great example. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. No duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. May we never forget our fallen comrades to their legacies. As founder and director of the Western Pennsylvania Gold Star Game, I welcome you all to this humbling afternoon. We have the privilege to do something great for America. My good friend and brother, John Dudo, will ask you, what did you do for America today? Today, we got to remember 140 fallen heroes and learn about their stories and their sacrifice, and their family sacrifice to this wonderful country. I hope your meetings today and the stories that you have heard, you will carry with you as long as you live. You see, in this world, we die twice. Not just once, but twice. You die first when your soul leaves this earth. Second, when your name is truly forgotten and not said. Today, we did not let that happen. And with this experience, these 140 names will not be forgotten. To their legacies. To my players and my little brother, number 9, without you and your willingness to give up your name to play in honor of another says a lot about you, your character as young men. You see, in this connection you make here today, you will be the one that will stay with you for a lifetime. You have not just made the connection with your hero, but with your second family. As Gold Star, we all have this unexplained hole in our heart that only we can understand. When the knock at the door arrives, and you know who it is, and you don't want to answer it, knowing the truth will be the truth. You are a new truth, that truth of faith, and that truth of new light that has been dim for so long. Thank you for your sacrifice of your name for our loved one, because I can speak for everyone here, we are truly grateful. I do have to give thanks to my Legacy Alive family, the Monaca Turners for donating the beautiful hall today. Frank Buffington, thank you. Bruce from MJ Steel City Saloon, who did the food for you guys this evening, and the football mothers from Riverside, Rochester, and New Brighton. If I left anybody out, I do apologize. A lot goes into this. One person I really do have to thank who really stepped up was my husband, Joe Tebe. He was on the football end, getting in touch with all the coaches, many emails. I'm sure they'll be stopping here soon, I'm sure. But I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you, Joe. Pictures on the table. Players, those are for you to take home with you and to cherish for the rest of your life and continue to keep those stories. So you can tell your kids down the road, this was my hero, this was my brother, and I had the honor of playing for them. Also, for you parents, the night of the game between 4:30 and 5 o'clock, we have our Gold Star team tailgate. We encourage you to come to that team tailgate to be with the Gold Star families. That night, the boys are playing, so they obviously can't be with our families during the tailgate. So we encourage the families to come down and be with your families. As Carlos said earlier today, there's some families that aren't here. There's some families who just can't, who still grieve, who still mourn. And that's okay. We all mourn differently and we all grieve differently. But there's some people that are out of state who will be at your game. Because this game, we go back to World War II, there's just no family left. So that's why if you don't have family at your table, that's why. So I didn't want you to think that your family wasn't there because they weren't here. Before I finish, there are two teams here today that need to be recognized. Last year, Friday, October 1st, down at Blackhawk Stadium, I was honored with a proclamation from Congressman and veteran Mike Doyle of the 18th District. I only found it fitting that the teams from West Allegheny and Bethel Park be honored with that same proclamation. So at this time, can I please have those players who participated in last year's game to please come up to receive your proclamation. So if you were a Bethel Park player or a West Allegheny player last year, please come up. I'd like to read the proclamation and then I will be all finished. Whereas West Allegheny and Bethel Park High Schools took part in the third year of Western Pennsylvania Gold Star Game on Friday, October 1st, 21, and whereas the Western Pennsylvania Gold Star Game were originally organized by David Tavey in 2018 to honor fallen military members from Western Pennsylvania, and whereas each year high school football players take the names of fallen Western Pennsylvania veterans and play in the honor so that their names continue to be respected and remembered. And whereas the series of games honor military members who died dating far back as World War II to members who've recently lost their lives. And whereas this picture of hope and patriotism through the actions of high school students is a heartwarming tribute to those who have fallen for our country. Now, therefore, as Congressman of the 18th District of Pennsylvania, it gives me great pleasure to recognize and commend these players for their selflessness and for continuing the tradition of honoring the fallen. Congratulations.
Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. In 2018, the Gold Star football game was created to honor these sacrifices and make sure these heroes' names are never forgotten. Now entering its 5th year, the Gold Star game has evolved from 2 high school games to 8 games in 2022, including 1 college contest. To honor them, 10 players from each team will give up their names for the night, and the names of our fallen heroes will be announced instead. This year, the games will honor 160 fallen heroes throughout Western Pennsylvania. These games are very special, not only for the family members of our fallen heroes, but have also touched the lives of every player who has participated.
I felt honored to be picked. It's a great thing to be able to represent those families that lost a family member.
That was the Gold Star game, so, I mean, it was a pretty special moment and it was pretty exciting. Meeting the family, the Reimer family, that was pretty emotional.
I represented a veteran. His name was Andrew J. Fritch. He died during the Vietnam War. I was very excited that I got to represent his family coming into the game. It was great. I loved playing that game, representing somebody else. You know, it felt good having their name on my back during that game.
This year, the Gold Star game will honor Dylan Elchin from Beaver County, Leslie Halaz Sabo Jr. of Lawrence County, Harry Kitch of Mercer County, Corporal Carmen Spano of Allegheny County, and many more throughout the region. Please help support this worthy cause by donating your time and treasures, starting September 2nd when Riverside travels to Southside and all of the other games scheduled throughout the season. For the love of country, these men and women gave their lives to protect our freedom. We must forever honor and never forget.
Our next special guest speaker from President of Legacies Alive, Mr. John Duno.
Good afternoon. You can hear me? Let's wake up. My name is John Duno, and I am very humbled and very honored to serve Legacies Alive as their executive director. I know the Central Valley and Moon kids are looking at me today saying, that was our ref yesterday. So, You may ask, why is Executive Director Legacies Alive talking at a football event? And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today, is how football and what you're doing comes full circle in life, which led me on this mission in serving Legacies Alive and serving our Gold Star families. Football is what brought us all here today. It brought me here today, and it brought our Gold Star families here today. If I was going to be very blunt with you, because I'm going to be very blunt, honest with you, I'd look at the crowd, and you don't have to do it, but I'd ask you, raise your hand if you know what a Gold Star family is. Now give yourself that gut check and say, would I be raising my hand or not? Because brutally honest with you, I did not know. And I want to tell a story of how I found out. My life began here in Center High School. I'm a Beaver County guy. I grew up in the center playing sports and went on to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. I played 4 years of football up there. I then served 14 years in the U.S. Navy and the Merchant Marines concurrently. My son Matthew is currently serving. He's on his 6th sea tour over in Saudi Arabia now on a U.S. Navy ship. Football got me through the academy. The discipline I learned in football, the brotherhood, the sacrifice, the sweat, the enduring, overcoming obstacles set me up perfectly going into the service. I was home from a ship deployment and back to football as an alumni. I got the call from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, from the football office, the Alumni Association. There was a young man here in my hometown, football player, interested in attending the Merchant Marine Academy. His name was Michael Parrish. As an alumni football player, I would meet families, advise them on what a military academy is, what you're in for, what it's all about. I met the Parrish family several times in their kitchen. His mother, Marion, his father, Michael, his sister, Susan. We had several conversations in that kitchen, and ultimately Michael signed the dotted line. He went on to the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, played 4 years of outstanding football there. He took his commission in the U.S. Navy as an ensign, worked his way up to lieutenant, went through some pretty intense training, which is mostly classified. On September 28th, 2008, on Michael's 25th birthday, we got the call. Michael and his team are missing in action. I'll be very blunt with you. My life shut down. My family and friends know. And I was in a dark spot for a long time. I might have worn the face, but man, my heart wasn't there. So back to football. I'm a referee. And I get called to referee a charity flag football game in Blackhawk for this organization called Legacies Alive. Now as a vet, I've never heard of them. So I researched them, and I found out the two founders, Mike Vitti and Mark Faldowski, are both Pennsylvania guys, both football guys. Mark played at Trinity High School, Mike played at Berwick over near Philly. They went on to West Point. They were both football captains, had outstanding football careers, did multiple tours, became Rangers. When they got out of the service, they had to do something. They had to do something to honor all the Gold Star families and the fallen they left behind. So they went on a walk. They went to Seattle, and they had a mission to walk a mile for every life lost in the Gulf War on terror. And believe it or not, they started in Seattle. They worked their way down the West Coast through San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, across the deserts, through Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. They ended their walk after 8 months, averaging about 30 miles a day. They walked into the Army-Navy game. Remember, they were football captains from Army, right? They walked in through the end zone carrying 14 American flags. The that have been signed by Gold Star families all across the nation on the walk. And they also have the game ball they gave the referee to start the game. 8 months, 30 miles a day. They haven't even been home yet. And they're coming to Blackhawk to play in a flag football game to raise some money for Legacies Alive and Gold Star families. So I get called to ref that game, and that's when the healing began. Mike and Marion Parrish were with me that day. They met Mike and Mark. We met more folks from Legacies Live, and we saw how genuine they were, the way they were able to talk to Gold Star families, because the Gold Star families sitting here today, you all know. Right? You've been to the shopping malls where people see you, and it might be easier for people to walk away from you than say hello or engage in a conversation because it might be awkward for them. Mike and Mark were two of the most genuine men I've ever met in my life. So the healing started, and we started volunteering. Myself, my family, we started volunteering to serve the organization. And you know, being from Pittsburgh, we like to tailgate, right? So we decided for Army-Navy game, we're gonna go out and throw a tailgate for all these Gold Star families that are coming out to the game. And we did. In the first year, we went out and served 150 families off the back of 6 pickup trucks, served them every piece of food we had and gave them some comfort and some love, and it's just what we do. So as years have progressed, we continue to go to the Army-Navy game, and last year we served 450 families. So it's quite an event. We bring our families together at legacy events, but I want to credit everybody on that back wall wearing a red t-shirt, and everybody that's here from the Legacies Alive as we formed what's called the Pittsburgh chapter. These men and women are some of the most humble, selfless individuals I've ever met in my life. And they felt my passion to serve these families. They have a passion, and we formed, they approached me and said, instead of just doing one event every year, the Army-Navy game, can we do more throughout the year? So we formed what we call the Legacies Live Pittsburgh chapter, and we do events nonstop. Everywhere we can go to bring our families together, to bring them out. And big hand. I love each and every one of them, their family, and everything we do is as a family. So we go through this healing process, and I find out from Legacies Alive what a Gold Star family is. And it gets a little tricky because the military and our government have a very defined definition. And I'll tell you, at Legacies Alive, we don't discriminate, okay? You have MIAs, you have POWs, you have KIAs, you have training accidents, you have PTSD, you have suicides, you have many, many different ways. And our philosophy, okay, anybody that signed that dotted line, any young man like Michael Parrish that signed that dotted line to preserve the freedoms that we have today, protect this great nation, we take you in. You are our family, and we're here for you. That's the way we roll. And we're glad to have our families with us. We do Legacies Live events, and the more we bring our families out and connect with others and show them the love and the honor and respect that they deserve, we feel it helps heal them. We have a philosophy in celebrating the lives our heroes lived. All of our families have that heavy spot in the heart. It doesn't go away. It never has to go away. We don't want it to go away. But we'd love to hear stories. We'd love to hear stories of how that hero lived and the difference he made in our lives and the freedoms that we have today. Carlos touched on it. When you go over to some of the third world countries we've been in, you would never ever have this many people assembled in one room. It doesn't happen. The freedoms we have to be on a football field, to play a game, to come together in this amount of people in one spot, it doesn't happen. It's not allowed. Bad things happen. The definition of Gold Star families is an immediate family member, a son, a daughter, a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, a husband, or a wife of an individual who has given his life to protect the freedoms of our great nation. Now, the mission of Legacies Alive is to provide unwavering support to our nation's Gold Star families. When we talk about unwavering support, again, the teams, the families of Legacies Alive go to all ends. We go to all ends to take care of our families, bring them out today, having this event, having the players meet them, hear their stories. It's all part of the process, and we're here to support our families. The second part of the mission is to ensure the legacies of our fallen heroes remain forever alive. You're part of that today in 3 ways. Number one, if someone ever asked you what a Gold Star family is, you know, right? So number one, you know what a Gold Star family is. Number two, when you go back to practice, you go back to school, you go home to your families, you can share the story of the hero you met today. By sharing that story, you keep that legacy alive. Dana touched on a person dies twice. Once when they take their last breath, the second time when their name is never said. Carry on that name. Talk to your families, your friends. Thirdly, meet the family at your table. It's not easy to talk to a stranger, but I also want you to look at that family and think of the courage it took for them to come here today. If you're in their shoes, it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to come out in public, sit at a table with a bunch of strangers as well. So we're all in that together. And I always related to, most of you guys were in high school. You remember when you were in junior high and you move up to high school, and you think, where am I going to sit at the lunch table, right? Where am I going to fit in? Who am I going to talk to? So you guys came here today feeling that, and I will tell you, speaking on behalf of our families, they came here the same way. So, very easy. Break down the barriers. Say hello. Give them some love. Give them some respect. They would love to hear your story. And they would love to tell their story. If I ref your games this year, back to football, right? It's amazing how football brought me all through this, to legacies, to our Gold Star families, to our Pittsburgh chapter, and all the amazing things that are going on. If I ref your games, you'll see me at the 50 for the coin flip. And for the coin flip, I always do something very special. I let the captains know there's something bigger than this game today. And many of our Gold Star families have given me their challenge coins. This is Michael Parrish's coin. This was given to me by Mike and Marion. This was his Academy seal. I used this coin last year when I ref the Whitfield Championship down at Heinz Field. I use it at most games in Beaver County. When up in Lawrence County, I use this coin. This is a challenge coin from Albert Gettings, U.S. Marine Corps from Newcastle. His father Dave gave me that. I refed a playoff game at Laurel High School last year. And that's the same speech I gave all those players. I told Albert's story at the coin flip. So if I'm with you captains, you're going to hear an amazing story for a coin flip, and hopefully it's one you won't forget. And hopefully it's one you go back in the locker room and tell the rest of your team about. So, in closing, thank you very much for coming. Enjoy the games. They're powerful. They're awesome. And on behalf of Legacies Live, we're honored to support. We're honored to be a part of it. So, God bless you all. God bless you.
Next on our agenda, Mr. Jackson Hall, one of the former players. Where's he at?
Thank you very much. That was a little bit of a nerve-wracking walk just because I didn't want to trip, because that would have been super embarrassing. Especially if I hit the cupcake table, it would have been a mess and I would have felt bad. But as you said, my name is Jackson Hall. I played for New Brighton High School in 2018 and 2019 when we first did these games. I was a part of the first game in Western PA and the second one too, right? That's what I thought. We played Avonworth. We're not going to talk about how those games went. But when I was asked to do this a couple weeks ago, I saw Mrs. Teve at the local swimming pool because I managed there, and she was there with her family. And she asked me, and then I texted Coach Teve Joe Teve was my coach, so I call him Coach Teve. Sorry if you guys didn't know who that was. But I asked Coach Teve, what did you want me to speak about? Like, I didn't really get a topic, I didn't know. And he said, how did this game impact you? And for me, it impacted me in a couple different ways. So, for one, I've always loved America, and I love Memorial Day, and I love celebrating those who lost their lives. But I didn't have anybody in my life that I knew personally that did lose their life. So for me, it gave me two names and two faces that I could celebrate on that day. And those two names are Corporal Donald Pierce Jr., he was in the Marines, and he died in 1970. And also Private First Class David Albanese, who died in 1950, and he was in the Army. And for me, every time Memorial Day comes around, I think about those two people and what they gave up and who they are and what they did for all of us when it comes to freedom, when it comes to the way we live our lives. And the other thing that it made me really think about was the sacrifice that they gave up. I'm 20 years old, and in November I got engaged, and these last couple months I've been planning my wedding, and I've been thinking about the future a lot. I've been thinking about what my kids' names are gonna be, where we're gonna live, all this kind of stuff. But what I realized was when I looked up these names, and if you go to the National Archives, you can find every name of anybody who died in a war ever, so you can learn about them if you want to. But when I looked up these names, I found out they were younger than me. They were 19 years old when they both died. And for me, it really hit me that what they sacrificed was not just their lives, but it was their futures. They were young kids, and what they wanted was probably so much more than to just go to the military and serve freedom. They probably wanted to come home and have families. They probably wanted to come home and have a future. But what they did for all of us, for you individually, for me individually, was give that up. They gave that up so that we could be here today, so that we can play football, so we can live, so we can go to school, and we can further ourselves. And so when you go to play these games on Friday nights, don't just think about the names. It's very important to remember the names, but it's even more important to remember the sacrifice they had for you. And I know you probably aren't thinking about that right now. Probably a little bit more worried about the football game. I get that. I was there. I promise you, it's going to be a little nerve-wracking. But make sure you take time. Talk to the families that are here. Talk to the families when you meet them. And make sure that you really understand what's going on and that this is bigger than football. So thank everybody that's here today. Thank your coaches for getting you here. Thank the families for coming here. Thank Mrs. Teve if you get the chance, because she does a great job. And thank any other families that have to go through what these people went through. So God bless you guys. Go Lions, and good luck this year.
Speaking today, Mr. David Gettings, on behalf of Albert Gettings from Newcastle.
Thank you so much for having me. My wife and I are here, David and Julie Gettings, the proud parents of the fallen Marine, Corporal Albert Gettings. And in 2006, on the streets of Fallujah, after he went out, he had to decide that day, who do I die for today? Because that's what combat Marines do. That's what combat service people do. And the question is, who would you die for today? It's a question that makes us think. But more importantly, it shows us, and what these games show us, is the honor and the respect that you young men are paying to our heroes. It's a big deal. Because they wanted to make the world a better place. That's why they went into the service. My son went in after 9/11 and said, Dad, I can't sit home. I can't do this. I can't do nothing. I've got to do something. So he joined the Marine Corps. And I remember he didn't tell us about that. And what happened was, I got a call and they said, is Albert there? And I said, no, he's not here right now. Well, tell him we're working out tomorrow morning at the Marine Corps Recruiting Center. That's interesting. So my son came home. I said, Albert, you got a phone call from who, Dad? The phone message was, we're working out tomorrow at the Marine Corps Recruiting Center. He said, Dad, I enlisted. I said, well, here's how this is gonna go, Albert. I'm here, your mother's not, which means I can't hold this secret for more than 24 hours. I will be dead. So you have 24 hours to tell her, or I'm telling her. Well, we still are sad over the outcome of what happened, but our son gave his life. Everyone in this room, starting with me. And you're giving up your game to play for my son and everyone else's son who's in this room. It's important.
And daughter.
And daughter, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not being, I'm glad you're here.
We have a daughter this year.
That's correct. So the point is this, my son's foundation has a motto. It says one person can make a difference. Everyone in this room. Just make a difference. Thank you.
So now we get into team introductions. This is important for all of us, as you have been hearing all day, how important this is. Right, and coaches, you guys are, I still remember my coach in high school. Most of you guys, most people here are a huge influence on your boys and girls and everything. So I'm excited to meet all of you. I hope that as you go through the season and through the year, that you ask each one of your players who your hero, and they remember their hero's name. And if they don't, just like what happens if they fumble a ball, just like what happens if they miss a block, just like what happens if they forget a pass, they run a mile. But you put it in them, all right? So first one, Riverside, Fran Ramsey. Where we at?
And Noah George, representing D. Portola Road. Gunther, Sorty, Brady Newman, Sabo Jr., Aiden Garcia, Cooner, Zach Hare, Gamble, Robbie Janice Witherspoon, Sam Hughes,
Southside, Coach Luke Trevelise.
Again, this is our second time getting to participate in this game. It's an honor. Last year we got to play at Avonworth. This year we get to host Riverside, and having experienced the game now for one time, we're just really looking forward to it and continue to do so. I want to thank the teammates and the rest of the organizers for putting this together, as well as all of your players and players' families. Thank you for raising the number that you have. Most importantly, though, to the heroes and families that are here, the words thank you, I don't think are strong enough. We're just eternally grateful for you and your sacrifices. So, to introduce our Southside players, first, representing Sergeant Tommy Smith, is Brody Almashi. Representing Private Matthew W. Brown is Alex Ergo. Representing Corporal Daniel Miller Dawson is Parker Stoutberg. Representing Corporal William Lee McLaughlin is Shane Hankey. Representing Sergeant Dylan Elkin is Logan Smith. Representing Staff Sergeant Kenneth Van Giesen is J.D. Roy. Representing Corporal Jared King is Devin Brommerkel. Representing Senior Airman Brian Bell is Matea Pavlovich. Representing Staff Sergeant Victor Cortez is Slayton Williams. And representing Staff Sergeant Ford Ingraham is Eddie Glover.
Next up, Rochester, Coach Gene Maxson. Bethel Park coach trying to take it down before the game.
I want to give Carlos a good round of applause. I mean, this guy here, he's a good MC. I can give you a round of applause. I was going to see him next to him and put my hand around him and say, hey, this is Franco Harris. This is our second year doing this at Rochester, and I've been coaching for 37 years. And I've got a lot of highs in the sense of a lot of accomplishments we've had, but this one is number one. My book. For us representing fallen heroes in Rochester and doing that for the first time, you first-time schools, it's really, really unique. I mean, it's really something else. It really is. We're really excited to be a part of it.
Representing Tim Brown, Jerome Mullins. Representing Dylan Pettis, Parker Lyons. Representing Joshua Reimer, Antonio Laurie. Representing Howard Aiken, Dom Guido. Representing Gary Miller, Ryan Clark. Representing Thomas Brewer, Dante Welling. Representing Andrew Frisch III, Dylan Yunt. Representing James Graham, Adam Scher. Representing Lawrence Snyder, Jaden Norman. Representing Robert Hall, who couldn't be here today, DJ Smith.
Some big boys on that team. Rochester. All right. Next up, New Brighton, Coach Tony Calturi. What's that? Joe Ringo. Huh? Athletic director, I'm sorry, I'm messing this up for you, aren't I?
Sorry, Coach Caltori had to step out, and so I want to take his place. It's an honor and privilege. As stated before, thank you to the Tay-Bays and everyone. We've been in this game since the inception, and it is a tremendous honor, and we appreciate everything. And we're looking forward to our game on September 9th. So to represent New Brighton, representing Mr. Keister, Trayvon Phillips. Representing Mr. C, Giante Moore. Representing Mr. Bilbo, Hunter Lewis. Represent Sambi Lois, Michael Peon. Representing the Advancing family, Kyla Rumble. Representing the Albanese family, Darrell Rogers. Representing the Glover family, Kevin Williams. Representing the Polino family, unable to attend, Brian Taylor. Representing the Hupp family, Xander Reynolds. and representing the Wallace family, Peyton Predco.
Bishop Canada, Coach Rick Johnson.
Hello. First, I would like to thank everyone for having us here. I've never heard about this game before today. I guess kind of over our side of the town, we don't really see too much or hear too much about the game. So coming here today and having this meeting, having a dinner, meeting everyone, the game does mean a little bit more now. The coaches, we get a bunch of emails. Sometimes we get emails, we don't really pay attention to it. So now that I'm here, now I understand the meaning of this game. We're really happy to be a part of it. We're looking forward to playing in it. And from the bottom of our heart, we really do things that can happen. So without further ado, we'll announce our team. Representing the Huey family, Keyshawn McCaskill. Representing the Cox family, we have Xavier Nelson. Representing the Nucci family, Lasay Lax. Representing the Hall family, we have Jason Cross. Representing the Hughes family, we have Marzi Carter. Representing the Barr family, we have Davion Taylor. Representing the Spano family, we have Ajon Marshall. Representing the Graham family, we have Cole Olszewski. He could not be here today. Representing the Carroll family, we have Brady Travis. And representing the Brazovich family, we have Ty Clayton, who also could not be here.
Coming out from out west here, Coach Greg Marshall, Bergenstown. Where we at?
Thank you. On behalf of everybody in Bergenstown and the community, I'd like to thank you for having us be a part of this for our second year. It gives us something to talk about, and we're always looking to try to compare football to later life lessons, and this game is no bigger reason to tie that into it, and always trying to make those connections, and this helps our kids. It's not about what we're doing, it's about what everybody else is doing, and to be able to look back and see what other people have sacrificed for us to be able to do what we do, it's nice to be able to honor that as well, so thank you for the opportunity. We have Joseph Baronic, representing the Adams family. Caleb Russell, representing the Shipley family. Luke Ferris, representing the Addis family. Landon Romano, representing the Campos family. Rudy Brown, representing the Geibel family. Brody Kuzier, representing the Melnick family. James Lewis, who could not be here today, representing the Orson family. Corbin Harrison, representing the Winchmer family. And Tyler Cody, representing the Lane family. And we do have Zach Schrockman,
representing Kovacic family.
Coach Mark Lyon, Central Valley, where we at?
Thank you, and to John Dugo, as you spoke, it allowed me to understand and reflect, and to, on behalf of our program, myself and our community, we are disappointed in ourselves and ignorant to ourselves that we were not more assertive to be involved in this game from the inception. Moving forward, we're ecstatic, we're honored, we're humbled on behalf of our district, our community, our players, our coaches. So thank you to the committee for reaching out to us, for the people of Legacies Alive to asking us to be part of this great event. And if this afternoon's event is any indication of what lies ahead, we are very proud to be part of this. So without further ado, again, thank you. Representing the Parrish family, Keegan Adamson. Representing Sissian Jr. family, Logan Cantwell. Representing the Booth family, Jackson Tanya. Representing the Martin family, Matt Garabak. Representing the Mastramico family, Caden Colville. Representing the Strauss family, Brady Hudson. Representing the Tripp family, unable to be here, Brett Fitzsimmons. Representing the Cashmer family, Denero Simpson. Representing the McLaughlin family, James Moran. And representing the Baker family, Jaden Thompson.
Representing Newcastle, Coach Stacy Robinson. There we go.
First of all, I'd like to say that the Newcastle Red Hurricanes are honored to be a part of the Gold Star game, and I'm sure our fans will be out in full force to support the game. And also, as I look at the list, it's a little bit humbling to know that personally I know 3 or 4 of the families that are representing personally. I know their families, and it's an honor to be honoring their fallen heroes that night. My players were able to make it tonight, but I'm still going to announce the names of the families we'll be honoring. Cairo Harris will be honoring the Gettings family, who's here in attendance tonight. Tayshawn Wilkins will be honoring the Moxley family. Tyler Leakins, the Mills family. Bryce Wood, the Jones family. Kayvon Gardner, the Dexter family. Robert Reed, the Slack family. Naeem Rogers, the Threets family. Malik Jefferson, the Goff family. Nico Torsello, the Holbert family that's back there. And Joe Benasia, the Hopper family. And we look forward, we're honored again to be a part of this, and we hope we continue to be a part of it. Thank you.
All right. Coach Aaron Fitzpatrick, Chartiers Valley.
All right, so on behalf of the Chartiers Valley community and family, we do want to extend, the appreciation that we had the invite to this game. What a great opportunity. I'll go down the list of names here. Representing the Goodrich family, Lamont Payne. Representing the Sturgis family, Gavin Owens. Representing the Booker family, Tyler Glover. Representing the Giordano family, Chase Dalvin. Representing the Dooley family, Logan Burkle, who cannot be here in attendance. Representing the McAleer family, Austin Ephemitis. Representing the Verdeneck family, Deshaun Sanford. Representing the Rafferty family, Tavon Sherrill. Representing the Czech family, Jim Thompson. And representing the Lilly family, Tony Vanzit, who cannot be here in attendance.
All right, coming on next, Coach Dave Show, West Allegheny.
First of all, on behalf of the West Allegheny community and family, I'd like to thank Joe and Kabay for inviting us back for the second year for our program. When I look at this event, it's a great event, but it's truly a humbling event. Thank you for allowing our players to take part, myself, my staff, and everybody involved. We find this a tremendous honor and privilege to represent the members of our armed forces that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Their sacrifice has provided all of us with the freedom to pursue our goals and all of our dreams. As a coach, I often talk to my players about playing for something bigger than oneself. All these fallen heroes did just that. They fought for their country and all of our freedoms. I pray that all these players take some time to really reflect on the sacrifices made for all of us. I pray that they share their names, what they've learned about the fallen heroes, so that their memories and names will live on forever. I thank you for this opportunity, as do my players. Representing the West family, Matt Ford. Representing the Rabel family, Nick Longo. Representing the Moxley family, Nico Taddy. Representing the Morzano family, Nolan Tracy. Representing the Accolado family, Gage Upton. Representing the Nyreen family, Brock Cornell. Representing the Lowe family, Hudson Clay. Representing the Moore family, Alec Harbison. Representing the Quinn family, Braden Lambert. representing the Reynolds family, Rowan Police.
Next up, Court Rose, Coach Peter, or actually, yeah, Coach Rose, Peter. I don't know what some of you guys are feeding your boys, Jesus. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm actually filling in for Coach Rouse. I'm Coach Jeff Mullen for Beaver Bobcats, and it's a great honor, and we're very humbled to be a part of this first year. We're going to start out with Josiah Santiago. He's filling in for Mr. Sosnos. Jarrell Leeper, also for Sosnowski. Dylan Porto, Mr. Black. Liam Gibson, Mr. Anzio. Isaac Pewdie, Mr. Bischoff. Amari Smith, Mr. Casp. Noah Reagan, Mr. Fluharty. Kate Pattison, Mr. Mullen. Nick Little, Mr. Netherland. And Sam Pedro, Mr. Eichel.
Joe, when you type this up, at one point in time you went, schools on the left side, coaches on the right side, and then at the bottom you go, coaches on the left side, schools on the right side.
That's how mine works.
All right, from Athenworth, Duke John Ford. There you go, Coach.
I feel like an old hand at this. This is our 4th year, and I'm privileged and honored to be a part of it. I talked to the new Brighton quarterback. The first year we did it, I remember him. I said, they had a red-headed quarterback. I remember him. And he played against my son, who was a quarterback that year. Dana's an Avonworth alumni, so that's part of the reason we're involved a lot, and I appreciate that. Dana and Joe, hats off to you. This is an amazing thing from what it's grown to our first year. To put this together and get this off the ground and get this many people fed and done and recognized, it's a true tribute to you guys and your hard work. And thank you, the Gold Star families, being a part of it. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to recognize you and honor you in this special way. And thank you so much. Representing the Gilbertson family, Nate Harper. Representing the Hoffman family, Gabe Bonnet. Representing the McGinnis family, Luke Hilliard. Representing the Waltenbaugh family, Aiden Izar. Representing the Langhorst family, Brandon Biagirelli. Representing the Adams family, Austin Johncourt. Representing the Sellner family, Andrew Cuban. Representing the McCormick Jr. family, Colin Crawford. Representing the Hopkins family, Peyton Faulkner. Representing the Holman family, Elvin Lee.
A lot of the names are graduates of your schools. So these are heroes from your own hometown. A lot of them are. They don't just pick random names. Dana and the team here actually goes through and does a lot of research and finds out who your people are. So keep that up. All right, good to go. I thought battle for 7 of us. You got a whole bunch of tall players on your team. Oh my God. All right. School I've been waiting to get on board for a few years now. Decided they can make it. Coach Ryan Lynn from Moon, come on up.
I'd say that's a long walk from the back of the room, everybody watching you walk out there. So in appreciation of everyone's time and efforts today, I just want to say thank you for the invitation. You know, Moon is very excited to be a part of this game. It's a very humbling experience. I think for all of you players and all of us in this room to be honored to be representing these families of these fallen soldiers. So I just want to say thank you guys. Joe and Dana, thank you very much for including us in this. So, here we go. For us, first player is Nikki Rizzoli, here to represent the Vea family. Next player will be Joey Marasco, to represent the Marino family. Rocco Sinatra is going to represent Wagner family. Jake Duncan represent the Culbertson family. Josh Blagel and his sweet, sweet mullet will represent the McIntosh family. Nick Clemens will represent the Carmen family. Mitch Parisi will represent the Bacalou family. Brian Crawford will represent the Hoover family. Kate Norn will represent the Foster family. And Tom Dry will represent the Smith family.
School that's definitely super supportive of the military and all their service members and heroes. Coach Brian DeLallo from Bethel Park.
We were lucky enough to jump into this game in year 2. This will now be our 3rd Gold Star game, and it's easy to see why it's growing. Every school that's in it wants to continue to be in it. Nobody wants to be left out. And as more and more coaches and players and families hear about it, they want to be involved too. Dana, I don't know how you're going to do it if it keeps growing at this rate, but it's just an amazing thing. You and Joe and everybody involved in the planning with the Gold Star game, with Legacies Alive, just thank you so much for involving us. It really is an honor. The players from Bethel Park representing fallen heroes in this game. Unable to be here tonight, Denari Claxton is representing the Swain family. Ryan Petras will represent the Russell Kurtz family. Austin Kai will represent the Walsh family. Jason Nutridge will represent the Melcher family. Jack Riley representing the Finiello family. Tyler Stewart representing the Croup family. Jeremiah Hamilton representing the Freund family. Brady Del Duca representing the Kutchbach family. Aiden Curry representing the Jackson family, and Gavin Lowell representing the Kelly family.
Just want to say, thanks to everybody being here. Thanks to all the players being here. Thanks for all the parents letting your sons be here. And can't say thank you to all the families represented here today. A lot of you take a moment, look up who you're representing. They're our brothers, they're our fathers, they're our best friends who just graduated a few years ago that fell only a few months from each other represented. This is serious. This is important. And to many of us who serve, this is the way we keep our friends alive. It's the way we say their names. And the binders and the lists and stuff like that. And remember, great game of football. Paraphrase President Eisenhower, who said, I need a strong person, smart person, a fast person, an elite person. I need a football player. All right? I messed that up, but that's basically what he said. All right, to give us our benediction, Mr. Alan Fritz. Thank you.
If we could just make one more round of applause for our MC today, Clark. You know, before we depart, just remember, it's been said twice already today, but I'm going to say it a third time. You know, whenever somebody passes on, they leave behind a certain legacy, right? And just remember that these individuals, they die twice. The first time is when their soul leaves their body, and the second time is when their name is no longer spoken. All of you in this room have the ability to keep their legacy alive forever. So keep doing it, and make sure you take that seriously. So let us bow our heads. Father, once again, we thank you for the opportunity to be together as competitors with one cause, with one mission, and that is to honor the legacies of those who have given all so that we can have today. Let us always remember those who gave up all of their tomorrows so we can do something as simple as play football. With that, we thank you and ask you to watch over us all. God bless you. God bless America.